Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Balkan Sis, the show that's going to help you navigate the massive challenges of life, motherhood, culture, identity, and belonging with more ease, acceptance, joy, and purpose. Thanks to each and every one of you that come back every time to listen, learn, heal, and feel inspired. If you do love the podcast, then do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. It really does help spread the word.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Balkan Sis podcast. I'm so excited. Oh, look, it done it to me again. It's like I said, started recording it. It always delays me. Anyway, I said, welcome back to Balkan Sis podcast. I'm so excited to have you guys back for another new and exciting episode. Today, I have the most beautiful guest. And I think it's definitely about a topic that a lot of people haven't heard about. And Petra and I connected a little while back online, and she's actually a human design expert and Feng Shui. And she's just an expert in all of her fields. And she's also a fellow Croatian mama. She is from Zagreb and she currently lives on the Sunshine Coast here in Australia. So I thought it'd be really, really cool to bring her around so she can share her knowledge and share her wisdom. And I've got some of those questions lined up for her. So today's, it's going to be a really good episode. I've already cried. She's already made me cry before we even started recording. We got emotional because she's went through much hard again, which was very kind of her. And I got to know a little bit more about myself. And yeah, she just reminded me of my brilliance. And my big heart and just my passions. And yeah, anybody that you have like that in your life, I think you need to keep me up and close by. So I'm glad I can share her with all of you today, no matter where you are. So Petra, welcome to Balkan Sis podcast. And can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Hi, Ivana. It's always great to chat with you.
Likewise.
Thank you for having me. Like Ivana said, I am from Croatia. I want to correct her here because I did live in Zagreb for the last 15 years, but I'm originally from Murter Island, which is near Šibenik. And that's where I grew up. And then I left to study in Zagreb when I was 19. And 6 years ago, I moved here to Sunshine Coast with my family, and I have two children, 14 and 11, a husband, and we accidentally ended up on Sunshine Coast. And it was just like one of those synchronicities, and we are still here. And I do human design readings and Feng Shui. I'm a Feng Shui practitioner.
Which is really amazing, I think, because how many people do you meet around you that are human design experts and Feng Shui practitioners? Like, I don't know anyone besides you. So I think that's really awesome. I think it's a great niche, and I love how what you do is so connected to like who we are as people and who we are as a collective, and just like it's just part of a bigger picture, which I really, really love. So can you tell us a little bit more, so for people who don't know what human design is, because we are going to do this episode in two parts. Today's part will be for human design and getting to know you a little bit better, and the second part will be for Feng Shui, but that one, we'll do that episode in a few weeks' time. So for people who have never heard of human design, what would be the best way for you to describe it to someone?
So, human design is a system that's comprised of several different ancient wisdoms. So, we have Western and Eastern astrology, we have I Ching, Kabbalah, Hindu chakra system, and quantum physics, comprising this one unique energetic blueprint. this energetic blueprint tells us of mechanics of our energy, and it's like a map that shows us the path to our true self and purpose. So when we understand our chart and understand our design, our life kind of starts unfolding in a bit easier manner. We get more in a flow with who we are, and we start um, acting in that fashion, and the things that are meant for us in this lifetime come to us easily, as opposed to living life inauthentically and doing things by and the living by other people rules, which just takes years of correcting ourselves later.
Mm. And I think we have a lot of that in our Balkan culture. Like a lot. I think like honestly, like how has human design helped you, break down all that stuff? Like how was it something that you sort of found out through somebody else? Like how did you sort of land in that field, and then did it become a process of self-discovery? And then you were like, well, I can do this for others, or how did it sort of begin for you?
It's very interesting because we moved here to Australia, and I come from interior design background, and I have to say that interior design for me was a purely mind based decision. Before interior design, I studied textile design, which was more heart based for me, and then I was in a textile design industry. But then I had my first child, and after that it was like a logical process. Well, now I'm gonna go and study interior design because that's like feels like expanding. It was never really passion based decision. I would if I would go back now, I would probably just be happy with that textile design. That was where my heart was. Once when I introduced all these technicalities, I kind of I can't say that my heart was purely in it, but I there was a great deal of love for that industry as well. However, once we moved here, um, this is where all the changes started happening, because I guess once you left here all alone, no connections, no one calling you, no one asking you for your services because you don't know anyone, you have to start all over. You have to create your own uh, connections. I started kind of questioning my passions and what I really wanted to do. And because that's all I knew by that point is that I need to make my own opportunities. So I forced and knocked on doors and looked for jobs and worked in different places. And I have to say, things were not really working out for me the way I was imagining it. And
Because you're applying that Balkan mentality
Yeah.
mindset of like knocking down people's doors to like coming to Australia where the mindset is so different.
yeah, and do
Yeah.
it, just do it. You have to do it. If there are no opportunities coming your way, you have to create your own opportunities. Then after a couple of years, I have to say I was pretty burned out and tired. And then just like it happens, and like it was meant to happen, this lady, and she was actually from Slovenia. She reached out to me on Facebook and just noticed my name, and she wanted to know where I'm from. We kind of live very close. And I noticed that she's doing something interesting for her job. And I have to say that I've been always into these stuff, like astrology, numerology. That was my thing. My whole life, I was always very much into these things. It's not something new for me. Um, and I asked her what she does, and she said what she does, and I said, well, whatever it is, I want to try it. I want to. So um, I booked an appointment with her, and once she read my chart, that was the end of my whole life. That moment, I just so the human design, what it does, it it just shows you, it gives you the little bits of truth that you know about yourself. It's like it's like you open your eyes finally, and you realize what you what are the things that you actually do that are correct for you, and what are the things that you do that are against yourself.
Yeah,
In that
definitely.
moment, when she explained my child, she told me, "You know what you need to do now. You need to wait. Lay down on let's go forward and just wait." And I was like, "Wait."
Yeah, oh, no,
Wait
it's just
for
such a
like
foreign concept for someone who's just come to a new country. Also, from our distinct background, there's no such thing as waiting. It's like Shtanadish, Sachengash, Shinobunagas. Like, me and Frankie always talk about this because, like, the mentality he always is like Shtanadish. Shtanadish, that's the wall.
it's a sin if someone sees you lying down, in the middle of the day. You can't do that.
Who lays down? There's shit to be done. Like, if you're not running, you're not working, you're not grinding, you're not getting anywhere. So that's a very
There's so
new
much-
concept, right? Not at the time for you anyway.
Yeah, and it's interesting because then I started. I think she even suggested me to do yoga. And when I started, and I never wanted to do yoga. Yoga was like the furthest exercise from my mentality could be. That like
Same. I told Frankie, oh, yoga's just a bunch of movements. It's stupid. Like, you just
No.
stand there, you just move. That was my thing. I'm like, it's so useless.
For me, too still. Too still. It was too still. I'm like, I'm not like that anymore. But then I was just like this nervous energy moving around, just nervousness. Just what am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? Like, and um, and then I went to yoga, and I remember first time where we did savasana. I was just lying down, and I said to the instructor, "Well, I'm just gonna leave now. I don't have time for this." He said, "No, this is the most important part of the process. You have to lay down." I said, "No, I have so much things to do. I don't have time now to lay here for minutes." And she laughed so hard, but now that's my favorite part. And yeah, and after that, I was from that day I was just became so obsessed with human design, and I just started studying, getting into it, finding books, finding anything I can. That I joined the human design school, human design mentorship, and I always wanted it to have. I was really, really. Uh, I really at the beginning I really wanted this to be my hobby, something for me where I will escape, where I will like fill my cup, because it was really so uplifting for me. It kept me in this beautiful state and a beautiful energy. And but soon after I was doing readings for friends, family, everyone, and I would at that point I would do reading to anyone who wanted to listen. Like
And you attacked it. You went all out.
I was
And were you surprised? I mean, that's just how we operate. We get something, we love it, and we choke it to death. Like,
and then I have this friend, and she's an amazing friend. She's one of those friends that you know um, force you to step into your full, in the best version of yourself. And she said, and she organized like a group reading for me where I will charge, and because I was really, really against taking money for it.
of course you were. It's just part of your Balkan makeup.
Oh yeah, and also
It's money, right? Like, money is just shit.
and also my undefined will center, which makes coming with prices painful, like really painful. And 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 it kind of went from there, like I did that evening. She organized this women kind of group where I did it, and I don't know, it just went from there, and it just happened organically. I never really tried hard. That's the thing with human design. And not, and what happened is that it just happens like in a really organic manner. Like one thing happens after another. You don't think too much. Things just come your way. Um, After I already knew all of these things, human design, I knew how I should correctly operate. And then because I still worked in interior design, I still worked as an interior design writer, which I do as well. One week, like actually in 2 weeks time, in 2 week times, I had clients asking me about Feng Shui. So one client, then another, and then I'm like, so many clients this week asking about Feng Shui. Well, this obviously is something for me to respond to. And I started reading books and all of these things, and all of a sudden I was down another rabbit hole, and I couldn't get enough of it as well.
You sound like me and Frankie when we find like when we respond to something, it's like we do. I think it's also like our Balkan nature, like how you said it is the design, 100% like knowing your design and living in it. But I think like how you say even now in our conversation before we started recording, you know, it's also like our conditioning and things that we've been taught as we were growing up. And like I think there is so many good things to being Balkan also because it does give us that passion and that drive. But yeah, like you said, that inability not to be able to slow down also can work against us. And for anyone who doesn't know either, like who has a CE, can you hold up a chart, Petra, so that if I share a snippet of the video, people can just see what it looks like. So basically with the human design chart, it's really interesting. So when you book a reading with Petra, you basically give her your date of birth, you give her the time of your birth and the place of your birth. Is there anything else I'm missing, Petra? Can you describe to them like the details they would need to give you and then what that sort of spits out and the different types of human design?
So to generate human design chart, you do need your correct birth details, and time is very important. It has to be a correct timing, and your location, of course. So in human design, we have 5 types and 1 subtype. And all of these types have a different strategy, how to go and how to make their decisions. And none of those none of those strategies, which is interesting, is go and make things happen. It's about different kind of waiting for to respond to universe. This map is actually our communication with the universe, how universe is particularly communicating with us. Within those 5 types, we have generators that are here to wait to respond, and then we also have manifesting generators, which are the subtype of a generator. They have the same auras. Generators have this big enveloping aura that attract everything in their life, and they have to respond to it. So that's one, because I fall into this type, and this was the biggest like game changer for me, because before that I thought you cannot miss an opportunity. Any opportunity that comes your way, you have to use it.
We're all brought up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With learning human design, I learned that not every opportunity that comes your way is your opportunity. So you have to respond based on your authority. And there's a lot of different authorities and and each type can have many different authorities. Each person has one authorities, but types have different authorities. So every chart is kind of different, comprised of these different things. Even though we only have 5 types, it's which is, when you think about the whole population, it seems little, but we have so many different things within the chart that makes us different.
So unique too, because not like no two people will have like an unlike like. So even though we might be the same type, we still like you were born at a different time. Like you know when the stars were a certain way and the moon was the tides and the universe was just at that particular time that you were born different to what it was for me. So the cool thing about it is like when you look at the chart, after Petra does your reading, it's got all these like lines going up against this picture, like of the person. And there's the numbers and there's symbols, and like it's really astounding how much information there is and how much there is to your makeup. Like, and it actually makes you feel really special, because I remember when you did my reading and you were telling me about it, like I just felt so, I felt like it was a welcoming home. That's how it felt, like I was coming back home to myself, because I think you get out into this big, wide, busy world where you constantly feel like you have to be doing. And then also you can did Balkan conditioning, which is very, how you said, like you never miss an opportunity. And then I talked to you and it was just so heartwarming, like it felt so soothing, you know, like when you drink a hot cup of tea or something like that. First sip, like, oh, I am me. And like I am good the way I am. Like it just felt like a homecoming. It was just really nice. Like it was coming back home to me. And like you said, you might have those 5 different types, but in each type there will be so many differences. And that's what you're there for, to decide for all of that information for someone. So how does it differ from like, for people who might get it confused with like astrology or horoscopes, like how does it differ from all that other stuff? Or is it actually in union with it or similar?
It is. It's all comprised there. It's all mixed together. It all interacts with each other. Astrology is a part of it. It's where all the planets here come from. But let me go back and finish the types. So we said we have a generator that responds. Then we have the manifester, which is the only actually type that can initiate action. And manifestors actually strategy is to inform people around them about their actions. And then we have projectors, which have this penetrating aura, and they need to wait to be invited into things. And then we have the reflector, who actually need to wait for a lunar cycle to make decisions. So these are all very different things, like something, it's the language we haven't heard before. But the language of human design is so, like you said, it's soothing. It tells you things in a way that you never heard them, but they hit home. And for me, it was a sense of relief, because what human design brings, it brings to awareness all of the things that you actually know about yourself.
Yeah.
I haven't met anyone, and I did so many readings that this chart didn't resonate with, that there was absolutely no resonance. If there's no resonance with the chart, then there's probably, people probably didn't have correct timing, or they're so conditioned that they need a lot of reconditioning, that they are so disconnected with their ethnic self.
Yeah.
And you ask, how does this differ from astrology, right? Yeah. So, what's really specific about human design is its practicality. First of all, it shows you, like, it gives you your truth, like, literally, it tells you your truth, and you resonate with it. You know, like, when I tell people when they have emotional authority, they always say, yes, I think I always have to think so long about it. Like I can't make my mind. People tell me, I need to make my decisions quicker or something, but I just can't. I need time. And that's normal for them. And people know that. People are already like that. It's just that they're trying not to be. That's the problem.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people have such big issues with trusting themselves, like hearing their inner voice? Like,
So it's because of the conditioning of everything we've been taught and everything we've been learned through our life and how we've been brought up. So in human design, we have in our chart, we have these centers, and they are the evolution of chakra system. And we have centers that are open. They would be white in your chart, and these centers is where our energy is not fixed. So in the colored centers, our energy is fixed, and this is where our strength lies, and this is where we are showing up the same, and we emit the same energy pretty much our whole lives. But then in the open centers, in the wide centers, is where we are fluid. We learn, we grow, we develop, we take on conditioning. This is where everything we take in from our environment, we store there and then we build up on it. And when people don't live from their true self, they live from their conditioning. They don't live from their true strengths, from their defined centers. They live from the conditioned centers. This is where the problems begin. And when you live from your conditioned centers, you don't make correct decisions for yourself. You live by other people's rules. You think you need to do things different that you are doing. That your natural integrity wants you to do it. Human design basically brings you back to your body integrity, because human design is very much body centered system, and we only use mind for learning, for expanding, for making sense of things, and it's our computer, but we don't make decisions with it.
Yeah.
And our world is mind-based world, and you can see how
Oh yeah, we're all in our head, all of
where the
us. It's
system
so
is.
bad.
So what we try to do with human design is bring you back to your power, to your body, wherever that is. Each type has each chart and type, and authority is different. So it depends where there is in your chart. But we bring you back to your power, to your body, to what you truly are, and then when you learn to listen to your authority and follow your strategy, you make better decisions for yourself.
And then does that look for someone? Like, how you were saying to me before in the phone call, because like you made me cry. I got so emotional. I didn't expect it, but it was so needed as well. And I think that's what people, as well, like can anticipate. Like for some people it will be an emotional process, it will be an emotional journey. For others it'll be maybe like, oh wow, yeah. Like I thought, yeah, I know that, or I knew this, or so it is a reacquaintance of yourself, because you do get so far away from yourself. I think, especially when you become a mum, it all becomes about your child needs, your children, and all that practical stuff, and you do get away from yourself. So, how does it look for someone like? Because you've done my chart, how you said to me, "Don't worry about what you should be doing." What you think you should be doing. So, how can we break down to someone like if you had given them feedback, how they can apply that in their everyday life?
Well, it's hard to say without having a particular chart, because every chart is different. So of course the advice would be and readings would be different for every person. But getting learning to listen to your inner voice.
How can one do that?
Well,
How can they start to do that?
Based on in human design, we want to spend more time in our body. So like I told you before, whenever you have those overthinking phases, when you start thinking I should this or I should that, just get in your body, go for a run. But I mean, you are a generator, so I'm speaking to you in this kind of
type.
For someone else it wouldn't be like that, but for you it's getting into your body and spend that energy that gets stuck, because you in your particular case, your energy gets stuck if you don't move your body. You need to move your body more than some other someone with a different type of charge would. And then you kind of let that energy out of your system, and you get in touch with yourself. And when you get in touch with yourself, your sacral response, which is your authority, it's much easier for you to connect with. When you are in overthinking mode, when you are in your head, you cannot connect to that compass, because for you, your sacral center is your compass. It will always lead you the right way. That's what happened with me with my uh, Feng Shui, because I responded to all those inquiries about whether I do Feng Shui or not. And it came from my, clients that I was doing some renovation work. And then it came from my writing clients. It came from, different places. And once I went into it, there was no going back. And the path just kept unfolding. Then the right, the study came, then the clients came, the success came. Like I had so much success with assessments, with literally changing people's lives in many different areas where they needed help with. So
Give people a little description, just what Feng Shui is for some people who I'm just assuming that might not know. Just a quick little description so they can sort of get to know it a bit better.
So Feng Shui is the energy that is impacting our living environment. So every house, when it's built, it comes with specific energy. It's also affected with the environmental energy around the house. It's a natural energy, and that energy impacts our living environments and how we live in our homes. So, people can have all kinds of experiences, from being stuck, from not being able to, move past situations, certain patterns. Some people can't sleep, and many different things. Like energy, it can be really distorted in the house. And then once we align that energy, correct it, people just start to experience changes.
That sounds awesome. I'm like, I need that. I need that. Because the house we've only been in for like 2.5 years, but it just doesn't feel. And like this is the thing. This is what I want people to know. Like maybe for people who are skeptical, and often with our culture, religion ties into a lot of this because a lot of people feel like, well, I'm religious, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Catholic, or I've been raised a certain way, so then they won't inquire, make an inquiry into themselves or make an inquiry to the home. But I would see it like, well, we get our house blessed every year by a priest. So that's a blessing, which uses holy water for in prayer. So the way I see it is like if you believe in that, or if you have the open-mindedness to see the potential of that and how it can positively impact your home and you and your family, I see this stuff in the same way. So I would like really just encourage people to make an inquiry into themselves and into their home. And if something feels off, it generally because it is. If you're feeling stuck or uncertain or unsure or overwhelmed or you're struggling to sleep, like even you mentioned, how you had lower back pain, then once you made a certain decision in your life, the back pain, went away after 3 months. So I'm really encourage people to just start asking questions, whether it be through you, through this forum of human design or Feng Shui, just like sit with themselves. So you said like you might be sweating it out, might be getting their body sweating it out. Like it might actually just be mindfulness, it might be yoga, like you said, there's different methods for different, for their chart type. But where sort of for someone who wants to begin with human design, what would be the best way for them to move forward if they wanted to sort of get to know themselves more?
Well, everyone can generate their free chart from different places on the internet. One of the websites is called Jovian Archive. You can put that later in the notes. And that only shows the chart. But because chart is so complicated, you probably won't understand anything in it. So the next step would be then to do a reading. And if anyone is interested in doing reading, they can find me on Instagram. It's at Petra_human design. And then from there they can reach out and order a reading. But what I wanted to say, after all that you mentioned just now, for human design, it's really important to trust the design and follow your strategy, or listen to your authority, because then all the pieces come into place. Um, it's if someone is living out of conditioning, they are not using the full power of their potential. So that's the beauty of human design. It Once you start listening to your design, you start using. You are on the path to use your full potential, to experience your full potential, and that's really the magic of it.
And that sounds amazing. I mean, like if you sell all that, and I think I also just want to remind people that it's not like it's a forever evolving thing, right? Like there's so much to the chart. So it's not like, well, okay, you start this thing and then you reach the same goal and destination and you're done. It's like even with Feng Shui, I'm assuming like your home and your body and these temples, right? That are combined, like it's a forever going journey because that shedding, that deconditioning, is heavy. Like I've been living a certain way, like prior to getting to know myself in a different way. That's a long time to be living a certain way, like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, however old somebody is. So I want to say to people, it's never too late, for self-inquiry, self-mastery, like self-healing, whatever it might be. And also like you do the charts in Croatian too, Petra. Do you like if people don't know English, you can
Yes.
talk to them in
Yeah.
English? Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, which is amazing. That's such a gift because I still feel like Bertie did say that in Croatia human design is becoming a bit more popular, like it is becoming a bit more of a thing now. So that's why I wanted to bring you on because I feel like for people who haven't heard about it, it would be such a beneficial tool. I would just think of it like a toolkit, around around your belt area, like a toolkit, like a tree, just having these different tools that you can access for yourself, whatever it might be. And having a practitioner like you that's so experienced and has so much knowledge and wisdom and like life experience. And plus you're still getting to know yourself too. Like it's a forever going process. What would you say is like the biggest thing that human design has helped you unlock about yourself?
So I definitely agree that it's not something that happens overnight. It requires you to experiment with your design, and it requires you to apply everything. For me, it's of course still I'm still in the conditioning process. I'm still, very much evolving. What was really game changing, and there were really many things, but I have to say when I learned that I am open in my solar plexus and that I take other people's emotions on, it made me understand why I get sudden, mood changes and stuff. And it would happen to me really a lot. Like I would take other people's feelings and I wouldn't know where they came from, but I would suddenly feel, or angry or cranky or whatever. And I started my day perfectly fine. And that made me just know how to deal with this and just kind of get these emotions out of my system and go back to my natural self. So that's a process too, like just learning that not everything you feel is yours to feel is a big thing to know.
Yeah, 100%. Like, because you're thinking, oh, what the fuck? My day just started off great. And now my husband's pissed me off. The dog's barked. The kids have done this. And I'm just a mess.
The people think there's something wrong with them. That's the thing. In human design shows you that there's nothing wrong with you. It just gives you reasons why this happens, why this happens, why this happens, and how you can, change that, avoid that, or, deal with it in a certain way. But it shows you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you.
I think that's a big one. That's huge. Because I think often when we get stuck in a rut or we have a fight with someone or our husband's giving us the shits or that's a typical Aussie term. It means your husband's being a, well, I don't know, you just can't go be like, well, no, no. I like your feminist, whatever. It's like, it can be anything that's dissettling. and not calming and doesn't feel good to your nervous system. You know, like I said, knowing why, that's a huge start. You know, like some people are like, well, maybe I have depression, maybe I have anxiety, maybe I have ADHD, maybe I have all these things, and the people start to self-diagnose themselves. But what I love about human design, like it's such a practical thing, because I remember even when you said to me, you know, practice one, like opening the fridge door and having a look at, for example, what's in the fridge, like, you know, do I want eggs? Do I want this? Do I want so it's like, you know, like just real practical ways, like little ways that you can implement, because everybody thinks it's these big things, you know, but it's actually just a series of small things that are all interwoven and tied together.
Yes, and when you mentioned your husband, that's a big thing as well. The connection charts, like we do connection charts, which is comparing two charts. Mostly, it's partners, different relationships and stuff, and it shows you how different you are and how you two how your energies interact, and that's for me that's a game changer.
That's massive. That's huge, especially for parents. So when there's kids involved too, like I think there's, like you said, with your two kids and yours, like there's so many different energies. And then just knowing what everybody's contributing, like just knowing that, oh, my son is not trying to give me the shits, like, you know, he's just existing in this certain other design, like in this certain other way. And then just be grateful for that contribution. Like that's a huge turning point.
It is, and it can bring so much more understanding and relief to relationships. For example, my husband and I am a sacral authority, and he is emotional authority. So he needs more time for making decisions, while I make decisions right now, and I want things right now.
Yes. I want things done yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I make decisions like quickly, and when I know that something is correct, I know it's correct. And even after 10 years, I'm still fine with that decision. I know it was correct. But he needs time. He needs to process. He needs, like, whenever we go to a restaurant or something, he initiates going, but then when we come there, he's, what do you want? What do you think I should do? So you wanted to come, like, pick something, but he can't. He needs time. And he literally, every time we come, he asks me to make a decision for him. That's so interesting because
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
and
Me and Andrew are literally like, I'm like, what do you order the food? Hurry up. Like, and then I get there, I'm like, what should I have? And he's like,
Yeah.
you knew what you wanted 10 minutes ago, now it's changed.
yeah,
But I'm just saying, is it, I'm going to ask you actually, I'm interested, does gender play a role at all in human design? Like,
No.
it just goes off the person, right? So it
No,
just goes off the person that they, that's amazing. I love that because it's not, it's for everyone.
yeah,
And
also,
how, yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
no, go on. That was just the question I had in my head. I'm like, I have to ask.
Yeah, and when I mentioned my emotional my emotional center, which is open and takes on everyone's feelings, I have to say that I live in a family where only I am open in that center and everyone is defined. So they are all defined in emotional centers. They all need time. They are all like slower. So emotional authority can't really be rushed. You can't rush them, they just need their time, and they need to process things. And I'm like fast, 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 I need things now. And this is where comes to a little bit of friction in our family. And also, I take everyone's feelings on board. So when I get overwhelmed with feelings, I know I need to step away from the family and go for a walk alone to let go everything, to let it out of my system. And then I come back as myself back.
Yeah, that's huge. I think for mums as well, like that's massive. Like knowing your design, knowing your husband's makeup, and like, your children, like that's huge because I think, yeah, between the tantrums, between chores, between life, like between stresses, it's important to know why. Like for me anyway, like I know as a human, I'm like, why did this happen and why, and just having that answer at least gives some relief. Like you said, it's like soothing. to know that, hey, I can just walk away. It's okay. The world's not going to fall apart. I'll come back as myself. And that's huge. And like when you're saying to me as well before we started the recording, when you come back to yourself, you can really hear your own thoughts and your feelings, and like you can hear yourself think. Like that's huge because the world gets really busy, and it can be really overwhelming. So where can you let people know where they can find you online, how they can connect with you, how they can book a reading, how they go about paying, and then also like the little special that we talked about as well that we want to give to our listeners.
Okay, so I want to say that one of the biggest thing in human design for me was learning the design of my children. My children are very different, and raising them absolutely the same, and dealing with them on a daily basis without knowing that particular energetic imprint they carry was quite challenging, I have to say. But once I learned their human design, oh, it made so much sense. And then I just, started approaching them from that point of view. It's so much easier now because they just require different approach. They are completely different. Their design couldn't be more different. Particularly with my son, who was quite challenging, and he was so challenging. But learning that he was a manifester in human design made all the sense, because these are little, powerhouses who don't take no for an answer, and they can't deal with authority. So you can imagine how is the parent that kind of child.
Oh, especially like from our Balkan background. Sorry to cut you off. Like every time we talk, I have such like light bulb moments because we're constantly challenged by like how we were brought up ourselves, which every parent is, that way. And then you've got your son, for example, who's, presenting this challenging behavior when in actual fact it's just a design. And then the Balkan mother in you wants to be like, yeah, but you're not there. Like, we talked about before. Yes, we talked about a lot in the first few episodes, like, they're going to up their emotional survival. And as much as you don't want to be that person, sometimes I'm like, get into the banda and the mother. And then literally Vita runs around the house, banda, like copies me. I'm like, dude, no matter how hard I try and like be this like person. So it's like we all try hard, we all do our best. That's what I want people to understand. Like, no one's perfect. We're forever evolving. But for you, like knowing this about your son must have been a huge turning point.
Yeah, my son knows Jevent matter very well.
So everyone, we do live in duality, don't we? Like we live in who we came into this world to be, which was our original selves, and then obviously, all the conditioning of others too. So that's what I love about Petra. Like you're still so real and you're so approachable, and you're not completely, because sometimes I feel like with people who are, like yoga goers or living in this different sort of world, I feel like, oh, they're so far away from me. Like because I still swear, I still drink coffee, yes, we'll have bad days, but the thing is we all have bad days, we're all human. And that's what I love about you. You're still so honest and you offer that like authenticity as well as all this knowledge as well, which I think is awesome. How has it been now with your kids that you know their design, and your husband? How has it changed your relationships?
It made a huge difference, but as we said, this is work in progress. Human design made huge changes, and I literally changed my whole the way I'm working, and the way I manage stress. That was a game changer as well. Like before, I was very much under stress, and then I learned as well that I take on other people's stress as well. So with my particular energetic imprint, I would feel a lot like like in a pressure cooker. So I learned how to manage that, and it's easier. It just brought a lot of relief, and you don't get things so you don't get work up about things so much because where they're coming from. They are not personal. Yeah, like I learned about my son. The way he acts, he doesn't do that to annoy me or to go against me or whatever. It's just he's fighting for his own integrity, for his truth. And the thing is that the younger kids are, the more they live their truth. So it's they express that truth of themselves more. As we grow older, we go more into conditioning and lose this true authentic self. And like we said before, so my Instagram is at Petra_human design. And then from there, you can go to my link in bio, and there are a couple of different services there that you can book, like your personal reading or reports. And when because of this podcast, to everyone who books a reading, I will also include a child reading as well.
Which is awesome, I must say. Because when you did Vita's one, like when you did my one and then you did Vita's one, that, oh my God, like it made me so happy because all the things you said about him and me and Andrew, I was like, it was like you were in our house. It was like you had a small window, like you're peeking inside our house. I'm like, how do you know these things? Because you said to me, like, oh, you're not going to have any problems with him. Like, you guys are really well aligned. And I was just like, that's how it feels with him. It feels like with Vito, like, I don't have any issues with him. Like, don't get me wrong, there's tantrums and challenges and everything, but I'm not triggered by him. Like it was challenging at the beginning when I first had him, obviously, first time mummy and that. But then when you said that him and Andrew would clash a bit more because of their different, like, I can see it. I can see it every day in our life. And like, I would love to have Andrew on a call with you so that he can get his own design and his own reading, and then we can sort of unify that, like unify our little family unit a bit better. So thank you for offering that, like to all the listeners. If they just obviously mention this podcast when they're chatting with you, even in inbox, in messenger, you are so worth it, like honestly. And I think it's an investment. Anything that you invest in yourself, I think is awesome. Like I think with us Balkan people, we can be very like goal orientated. We can be very like, what is the outcome of this and what am I going to get? And like, I want you to mention the thing about your daughter because that made me laugh so much. Like, it's like if you're living in design and have all this information, and then you said your daughter got a C, like in Japanese, and she's a straight A student, and you're on the phone to the school. Like, I just love that because that's such a Balkan very thing to do. I think I'll be exactly the same, honestly. Like, I work so hard on myself, but at the same time, I think I'll be the person on the phone call, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how have you found? Tell me just a little bit before we end the phone call, sort of the transition between the two cultures, because obviously your design is helping you like get to know more about yourself, and it all started when you moved here. So tell me just a little bit and the listeners about, because obviously you moved here with a family. So, how has that adjustment been for you? Just because there is also a lot of people who are listening in a lot of other countries, and I do have quite a lot of mums following us as well, and they're all expats, so they don't have any family either. So, just, if you can give us a little bit of more information on how that process was for you.
So yeah, we moved when my daughter was 5, so she only started prep here, and my son was grade 3. Yeah, and what I found here in Australia is that people are pretty relaxed about grades and studying, and I don't you did most of your schooling here, but back home in Croatia, grades are such a pressure. Oh my God, there's such a pressure. So of course, bringing all my school trauma here, bringing the pressure here. Um, it's just like when my last year my daughter got a C from Japanese, and that was her only C. And it was just like, why? why would you bring that home? And then I called school, and that's not something that normally happens. Like I could really tell that they were
Shocked and surprised by your reactions because most parents would be happy here with the C. Which a C is what? It's in the grading because it's like Ivana, Petra and whatever, so it's like pretty average grade.
C is like you comprehend all the tests in that area, and it's good, and people are actually happy with C. And I was devastated when I saw it. Like, so these are kind of things that I'm still kind of tapping to, and yeah, and she's still now she's moving to high school, and it's all very different, and it's hard to let go of that conditioning from, especially that schooling, and that you have to be,
Expectations.
because in Croatia, if you don't have good grades after your and at the end of your primary school, you can't get in a good high school, which is completely different here. But still, even knowing that it will not define, getting her into a good school, she has good enough grades to, go into the best programs in high school. But still, that conditioning is so strong. Like,
What do you think is something you're gonna? What do you think is something or things you want to leave behind, and what are some things of our culture that you want to hang on to and embrace and move forward with?
well, currently, because of everything that I've learned so far, I'm just my my goal is live as authentic as I can and let my kids do the same. Because um, if I learned anything from human design, is that when you um, allow your kids to be who they, be themselves and express themselves as they want to, and not suppress things, and not, and not put them in the boxes and things like that, they will reach their full potential sooner. You will avoid all the, trauma later in life, and deconditioning and finding themselves. Like, this just allows kids to be themselves and grow from there.
100%. I think that once you're an open portal, you like what is meant for you will come to you, right? Like if you're open and you're happy and you're light, like then those things will come to you naturally that are meant for you. But yeah, if you're not, then everything will feel like a grind. And I just think like it's such a big gift you're giving your kids now, and we're lucky that, we're living in these environments where we can do this sort of stuff. We can live this sort of way. Because I know when I went back to Bosnia and I went back to Croatia a few years back and I took my husband, I felt so like that I was going against myself. I felt like I couldn't be my true authentic self there because I just constantly felt like I was getting judged. And it just felt so heavy being there. So I know I still have quite a lot of family members there. A lot of them have moved, obviously, migrated to other countries. So for anyone who's still there, I think this is such a good tool. Like no matter where they are, but specifically if they're still there, just to come back home to themselves. Like I know people are saying that, but I think that's the biggest gift that you can give yourself. And like you said, just live authentically, whatever that looks like. And it's always open for interpretation and for change. So I want to thank you, like, for taking the time out and being here. I know you're busy. I know you do a lot of different things. I know you have kids and you have commitments in life. So we've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I'm really glad that we finally did. And for any of the listeners, yeah, like connect with Petra, get online, send her a message. Tell us if you have any light bulb moments. Reach out. Like always, we like getting feedback, because then we know that people are responding well and they like the content. So, and I can't wait to come back with the Feng Shui episode because Frank is so interested in that. She's all over it. When I told her about it, she was like, Feng Shui. Also for me as well. Like, I was so scared when I was talking to you. You said you're going to come to my house and bring this this thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to rearrange my whole house. Like, I freaked out. I had a mini meltdown. And you were like, no, I'll do like the thing after, you know. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm really looking forward to actually meeting you in person, which I think will be so cool. And I just love that our heritage and our culture, like, our people from that part of the world always find each other. Like, everyone I connect with on a deep level, I'll find out they have Croatian heritage or Balkan heritage, and I always go, why am I not surprised? You know, so that's the part that I do love, that no matter where you are, you have that common thread. But yeah, Petra, is there anything else you want to add that you want people to know before we go?
Add something, and it doesn't have anything to do with human design, but something that came to me while you were talking about our background. I think what we bring from our background is this really big resilience. I think we are really resilient, and just have this kind of we have this character that can just handle hard things.
Yeah. Oh, you said it. Oh man, you said that so well. When you said character, that's exactly how like I envision it, like how I see myself and how I see you. I think we all have actually really good character. Like, I think underneath all the bullshit that's happened in the last 25, 30 years, and even prior to that, yeah, our character is so strong, man. Like, we can fucking make it anywhere. But that's how I feel anyway. Like, I feel so, yeah, when you got my chart and you said this is a powerhouse, I was just like, whoa. Like, I never thought of myself like that, you know? And it's like, here you are. It's not even your opinion. Like, it's not like, oh, I've just met a shaman or someone who's reading my cards and it just happens to be maybe your opinion of who I am. This is literally my chart. Like, this is how the stars were when I was born. This is how it's designed. Yeah, it's not stuff you're making up. Yeah, it's actually truth, which I really love. So I feel like, how can you not be receptive to that? Like, that's so awesome. And I feel like my culture and my heritage is also part of that, which I really love. So thank you for being here for me, for doing my chart, for doing Rita's chart. Really, for all the mums as well who are listening, if you don't have a child, like Petra can do your partner. So if you're not a mum yet, it's okay, or problems, they can send the details through, and then they'll also know, their partner too, which I think is really, really essential. That's massive. Who you choose to spend your life with, but that's a whole other topic in itself. We are going to come back with the Feng Shui episode. Probably in a few weeks' time when all the stars align again, and like when the eye's totally going to strike. And yeah, just thank you for taking the time out to be here today to share your knowledge, share your wisdom. It's just so awesome. It's so awesome. You're a powerhouse too, so I really admire like just your brave decision making. Like, literally just taking a young family, going to like Australia, like that's massive, that's huge, and being away from family, being away from, but what a beautiful opportunity for new growth and new events in your life and new things. And yeah, look what you brought to the table now with all of that. So thank you so much, Beck. I appreciate you and your time. And yeah, guys, get onto it. Human design is, I saw a quote the other day and it said, this is, I'm going to read it. And it says, human design helps you become who you are, because once you know who you are, you'll know what to do. And I just really love that, and I want to leave it on that, because, yeah, once you know who you are as a person, or like get reacquainted back with your original self, you'll know what to do, and the next steps will come. So, thank you, Petra. Loving all the time. Well, I very well. Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
So that was the episode. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And as ever, if you did, please consider sharing it with your loved ones and leaving me a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. It really does make a difference to the number of Balkan sisters that we can reach with the brilliant wisdom that my guests and I share. Thanks for being here. I do viđenja.